Hello, ELA teachers. I am Ashley Badgett, and I am your learning technology team expert. And we have another fantastic ELA teacher on the call with us today. But first, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Angela Houston.
Hey everybody, Angela Houston, the instructional coach, and we have Cierra Jordan, the 7th and 8th grade teacher at Euler, and she's going to show you a little something about Peardeck and about Cami. Take it away, ma'am. Thank you for doing this for us today. We're excited.
Yes.
Thank you. So I was going to start by just showing my Schoology and how that's organized. So for each individual class, we start with their homepage has a banner assigned up top, and each page has that day of the week where you can click that button and it takes you right to your activity that day. So the kids are able to navigate and find their assignments for each day in that current week. So I usually try to use a page, have that agenda posted, and then everything would be linked in there. And so today we are doing individual folders. So everybody had their individually assigned folder for their independent reading, and everything was broken down that way. So after those buttons on Sunday, I'll move all this down. So where we would go from there is they would have their folder information moved down to the previous week, and then we just scroll everything down and put the new stuff in the folder. So every day they're able to click. So then from Schoology, one of the things I like to use while I am using Schoology is I like to link in Peardecks. So the Peardecks can be interactive. You're able to see what the kids are doing in real time so that you can monitor who's participating, who's not participating, and what people are understanding, and give feedback. To create a Peardeck, you have to have a Google slide open. And you're going to want to go to add-ons and get the add-on of Peardeck for Google Slides. So once you have that, you can open your Peardeck add-on, and then you just have to decide what you want in yours. So for me, I would usually start my lesson with the vocabulary. And so I would go into the concept vocabulary in Savas Realize in the unit resources, and I just use the snippet tool to snip out what I want them to work on. So just like a worksheet, they would do number 1. I can right click, copy, paste it right into that Google slide. And obviously it would fit there. And then if I want them typing their answer in short answer format, I'll just hit text. If I change my mind and I want them to do multiple choice, then I would set up my own multiple choice. You can easily click that and you can type the answers that you would want them to choose from in there. Update slide, and those answers will come up. So usually I don't do more than probably 7 to 10 slides just so that the kids aren't overwhelmed by it. But it's really nice that you can kind of just snip out what you need, whether it be the text or the questions on the worksheet, and you don't have to wait till they're all the way done to give them feedback. You can do it right then and there on the Peardeck. Another function that was really neat, if you want to take a certain paragraph from a reading and snip it into the Peardeck, you can add audio, so you can have a button where you're reading that paragraph and it will read it to the kids. So that's nice for your differentiation and all of that. Does that cover everything?
Yes, that covers Peardeck. Thank you for showing how you are using that in your instruction.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, go ahead.
So sorry, the announcements were on. I'm ready now.
Oh, okay. So next, did you want to talk about how you use Cami with your students?
Sure. So when we are using Cami, you can still do the unit resource approach. So say you want to use this worksheet and you don't want to do the Peardeck. You don't have time to snip, and you know that where your kids are at. So you can download this worksheet, and then instead of going to the Google Slide approach, you can just install the Cami app. Once that's installed, you can upload it through Cami. So you can upload from computer if you want to work through that with them, and you can also provide that PDF for your students. It'll convert it and have that ready. Another way to do it, which is probably going to be more practical if you are wanting to have it in Schoology, you can go to that folder, and just like you're creating an assignment, you would go ahead and hit Cami for the upload instead of Google Drive assignments. And you can either upload from your computer or take from your assignments that you already have made. So you can do a lot with the uploads there. So if I wanted it to be populated in Schoology for the kids, then again, create an assignment, upload your PDF. It takes a minute, hopefully it will come through. And then once the kids get it, they're just going to want to make sure they hit open with Cami. So usually that would go through. For the sake of time, I will go ahead and just show you one that's already done. So for this week, we were doing reading with mouse. So they had the directions in the assignment, and then open assignment with Cami is the button that you want the kids to push. Once you upload it in there, they'll just push that and it will open it in real time for them. And then from there, they can highlight and make their connections, or they can type in their document. So once
quick question, how did you make sure your students had Cami on their laptops?
So the first thing I did was I just went to Google and did Google Chrome Cami, and just to make sure everybody was on the same page, I went ahead and just copy and pasted the link into the chat instead of having them search for it and this and that. So you can make it a warm up, or put it in the chat, ask them to click it, hit install, and then they just need to refresh their page and it'll be ready to go. So that made it really easy. At first, when I was trying to say step one, go to Cami, it was just easier just to drop the chat, or the link. So we did that. And then once you do that and it's installed, it doesn't go away. They have the button up in the top, so they know they can push that. Also, in their Google Drive, they're going to have a folder of all their previous documents, so they're able to see that, which has been nice with the English part, because we are doing a lot of our readings in Cami right now, so they can go into their Cami Schoology folder and everything they've worked on is in there. So that's been really nice too.
How do you keep track of all the what each student is doing?
So while we're working in real time, unfortunately, it's not going to pop up in Schoology the way it would if it was a Google Doc. But if you go to your shared with me, once a student opens it, you can just right click, open with Cami or annotate with Cami, and then it's going to take you to that student's document. So I have all my kids open them at the same time while they're doing their warm up, and then I just go through. So it's a little tedious up front, but it's really worth it in the long run, because then you can see what every kid's working on, so you're getting the most out of your hour online. And you just go through, click, and then once it leads, I can see everything that they're doing as they're working with me.
And can you show an example of how you and your students are collaborating on a document in Cami?
Sure. So I have a couple of different ones. We were going through a timeline, which Cami was awesome for that, because they were able to talk about things, make connections in the chat. If a student didn't notice that, Anne Frank's diary was a primary resource, I can drop them a comment and I can say, remember to mark here, and take notes in their notes section. So that's really nice. And then one thing that's been really nice about Cami is you can drop individual videos to your students. So when you go to that comment, you could hit voice comment or video comment, and you just click that video comment, click where you want it to go, and you talk right in, and it gives you that feedback. So while I'm teaching, I'll mute myself in the Google Meet, and I'll be sending them individual feedback based on what they do. So after I'm done sending the student a video in the chat, I might say, John, check your messages or check your comments. Or I might just say, everyone has a video comment after about 5 minutes, go see where you need to revise. And so that's been helpful, because it's individualized. They're still seeing my face. I know they're getting it, rather than saying, go back to Power School and check your comments on that assignment. I think it's a little bit better that way. And then finally, they would answer in real time on their document with the text. So they can use the text box and drop it in there, or they can answer with a comment and just put it right beside there as well. And so now it's even taping then. So there's a lot of capabilities, and then as they're working, I would have all their documents open in my tabs, and as they finish, I just ask that they raise their hand on the Meet or say done in the chat, and then I will go through and read and give them comments on their work, like remember to cite evidence or remember to check paragraph 15 to support your answer here. So it works out a little bit. It's faster for them even though we're remote.
Wonderful. I love it. And can you show us in Schoology how you know when a student has turned in that assignment in Cami?
Yes, so we're still working on the one from this week. Let me go down to one that we finished in the past. So on the timeline where I was dropping the video comments, when they are done, they will hit turn in. Right up top in Cami, they can hit turn in here. And after they hit turn in, it will go through to Schoology. And let me make sure that mine might do different as a teacher. But once they hit that, it's going to come in on the side as submissions, just like it does when they create their own document through the assignment. So once they do that, I can click on theirs. And the key thing is to make sure you hit grade with Cami so that it looks like it would in a Cami document. And then I can make comments. Grade notes are in the document. When I grade them, I can even leave a comment here and show the student, and it will go through to the grade book as well. So that's really nice. So it seems, like I said, it seems like a lot of work up front, but it's been really effective. If kids aren't marking their text, I can see it. If they're not answering the questions, I can see it, and it goes right along with the lesson as you're working.
Very well done. Very well done.
I like that live feedback, that immediate feedback. And then you also don't have to call kids out. You can just, like you said, write them a little note. It's not always necessary to have them unmute. And if they're not participating verbally, then they can do it written. So good job. Thank you for sharing.
I will say one more thing I've been doing that's really nice too is you can put kids in an individual breakout room. So while they're working on this, you can have them go in a breakout room and share their screen. And so for some of my kids that might need a little bit more support, I would have them in that breakout room sharing their screen, and I can pop in every few minutes and see where they're at. So if you feel stressed out about opening all their documents, it's probably easier just to go to breakout rooms, edit. You put the number of kids you have. So if you have 25 kids in class, hit 25. It's going to populate them into their own room. Remind them to share their screen the entire time. And you just pop in and see they're struggling on number 4. And you know, hey, can I help you on this? Where are we stuck? And then they can populate through their document for you. And it's a lot faster too. So that's been very helpful.
Would you do that also in a live setting? Like now that we're back in school, would you still, so that you could have the individual conversations and not get close, or, you know, talk to them one-on-one, would you still do the breakouts, or would you only do that virtually?
I mean, as of now, I probably only do it virtually. I'd have to think about how that might work with the blended model. I'll try it next week and let you know. But definitely anytime I see, if they have a video lesson or if they have a document like this, usually I will put some of my kids that need more support in that breakout room, and they know it's a safe place so they can unmute, they can share their screen. So it is a good question about in person. I'm not sure about that just yet, but I do know, I think that I still want to keep marking text on Cami so I can send them the video lessons. So because I only have my kids Tuesday, Wednesday, they're home Thursday, Friday, I want to be able to still send them feedback about how to keep moving forward. So after Wednesday's lesson, I might go in and give them video directions for their individual needs for Thursday and Friday so we can get more work done in those independent days, because that's been kind of a struggle too. So
I like that direct individual feedback so they know what to do on those 2 days that they're not in class. Good idea. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Cierra. We really appreciate it, and great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great job. See ya. Bye.
Bye.